Let's make another batch of 1 hour French bread.
But this takes literally an hour to have fresh homemade bread. You're gonna start with 2.5 cups of warm water. The warm is critical for the yeast to activate. Then you're gonna use 2 tablespoons of yeast. I like this Fleischmann's Active Dry Yeast, 2 tablespoons, 1. And it's okay to make a little bit of a mess as you go. Whisk this together. It'll look foamy and bubbly. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, like so. Mix that up. Now the recipe calls for 5.5 cups of flour. That does not mean you need 5.5 cups of flour. Sometimes I've needed 6, sometimes I've needed literally 4. So it really just depends on like your climate, all these different things. So start by adding a few cups of flour. Start judging it like, hey, this seems like a lot of flour compared to water. With about 4 and see what you need. 2, 3, 4. Do like 4.5. Then with clean hands, we're going to mix this together. Fold it into the water. Now, if it feels too sticky and liquidy, then you need more flour. If it feels like there's not enough liquid in here to turn it into a ball, then you can add a little bit of water. I can already tell I'm gonna need the rest of this. So we have done 5 full cups, 5.25 cups of flour. And just continue folding it in until it becomes a nice, soft dough ball. And the tricky part is just getting it off your hand. I'm gonna cover this, and you wanna just let this sit and rise for about 15 minutes. You can do longer. I actually have a proof setting on my oven, so I'm gonna put it in the oven. Try to find like a warm area. So like whether it's inside your oven, maybe by a window.
It's only been about 30 minutes. Look how much that rose. Now what I usually do is I just get right in the bowl and I cut the dough in half. You could also just like break it in half, essentially dividing this into 2 loaves. Our second loaf. It feels so airy and pillowy and soft. It feels amazing. Shaping, stretch it out. That's what I do. I want to minimize how much I'm handling it, trying to make it into a baguette. Doesn't need to look beautiful. It needs to taste beautiful. We're gonna let this sit for another 15-20 minutes. Now, again, you can let it sit longer. Is it hailing? Coming down now. What's happening out there? I'm just gonna go put it back in. Let it rise a little bit more. Guys, it's hailing. Look, you can see there. It's hail. Okay, so it's probably been about 30 more minutes. Wow, they got big. Just gonna do a little egg wash on top. This is totally optional, whatever your preference is. We will put this in the oven at 450 for about 20 minutes. They're out of the oven. They are cool. Perfection. We got our butters on. You cannot beat this bread. It's really doughy and soft. Tastes amazing. Tastes like you spent a lot of time on it. Let me know what you think.